playing harder. He's diving for loose balls, and I think he's finally realized that, you know, what's separating him from being a big-time player at this level and even the next level is just that extra gear. And he's starting to try to dig deep and find that. You know, if he does, and when he does, he's going to be special.
Yeah, how do you feel health-wise? Do you have any recurring, lingering anything from last year? Or
No,
good?
I feel really good. Last couple weeks of pickup, leading into conditioning, I thought I was at 100%, and that's carried into practice. Obviously, after the first week of practice, everyone's nicked up and from going so hard in practice and stuff, but I feel great.
So you haven't had any other treatments or anything to the foot since, because I mean, you were pretty healthy by the end of the year last year, I guess, or relatively pain-free, I guess you said.
Yeah, well, at the end of the season, I had an ankle surgery.
Okay, well, yeah.
And then after that, you know, other than like getting my ankle back stronger, I hadn't done anything else.
Was the ankle connected to the plantar fasciitis?
Yeah, the ankle
so that
caused
treated
the
it.
plantar fasciitis. That went away, and then that went away.
How long was
Fine
that?
and dandy.
Yeah. How long was that rehab?
I mean, probably up until second summer session. So July, beginning of July, I started feeling really good, and then you know towards the end of July, going into August, I thought I was 100%. And still feel that way.
Big picture-wise, and this is a broad question, in terms of expectations, what do you envision?
I mean, I now that we're into practice, I haven't thought as much about it. But going into the season, you know, it's hard not to think of anything but, you know, like a trip to Houston being a success for us, anything less being, you know, just not meeting what we think we're capable of. So I'll just leave it at that.
What do you feel like is the biggest obstacle going from like Sweet 16 to now, you know, probably preseason top 5? People look at this as a possible Final Four team.
I think just taking care of a lot of the little things, you know. What separates a great team, you know, Wisconsin would be considered a great team last year. What separated them from us, you know, was a couple possessions. You know, we had a 7-point lead in the second half. We had that situation in a lot of games last year where we had second half leads and just couldn't hang on. So just being mentally tougher and, you know, focusing in on the details and transferring what coaches tell us in the locker room and timeouts and stuff to the court, because we have all the talent and the ability.
What did you see different from Justin Jackson? It seemed like last year maybe he deferred to the older guys and kind of stayed in his lane, so to speak. But I mean, do you see him being more aggressive and coming out a little stronger?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants him to be aggressive because he's such a good scorer. You know, we try to push him to hunt shots and to be aggressive and to get on the boards because we know how talented he is. And now that he's more comfortable, you know, it's hard as a freshman to come in right away and be the man, especially on a team full of older guys. He's a lot more comfortable where he's at now, and I don't think he should have any problems this year.
You mentioned Wisconsin, some of UNC's title teams your junior season with senior laden. You have a better appreciation of what that experience means, even if maybe earlier in your career you thought maybe you'd overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, the older you get, the easier it is, honestly. Just going through practices and getting your mind right for the day-to-day grind. You know, after you've been through it a couple of times, it becomes, you know, almost like second nature, or it becomes a habit. So I think experience in older teams definitely have an advantage as long as they're still talented. And I think that's one thing. This team has talent and experience. And we did last year, but this year I feel like our core guys that were freshmen aren't freshmen anymore, so that kind of helps. And you know, everybody else is a little bit better.
Is there a correlation between that maturation and that experience in finishing games better than last year?
I hope so. I hope so, because like I said, that finishing a couple of those games was the difference between, you know, being in a Final Four or having a 1 or 2 seed and, you know, being stuck where we were. So I certainly hope you have your own decision.
What have you done offseason to improve your game, particularly anything?
Yeah, I just worked on some more of my one-on-one individual offense. That's going to be key for me going to the next level. You know, I'm old now, so there's no next year at Carolina for me, so I got to think big picture sometimes. But a lot of my summer was just focused on getting stronger and getting healthy so that I can be 100% when it comes down.
Were you ever 100% last year? Were you ever 100%?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year I was 100%. I just wasn't playing well. You know, I wasn't shooting the ball well. You know, a lot of pressure and expectations stuff went on me, and I kind of let that get to my head. And then by the time I got comfortable with it, I started getting hurt. So.
Have you added weight for your?
I played last year around 170, and this year I'll be playing around from 175 to 177. So I got a little bigger.
With you being a senior now, what kind of changes